Europe was a light because you had Rory back in Ireland trying to compete for his National Open. And what did Rory do? He does what Rory does. So started out kind of slow, in fairness, right? And then steadily crept until Sunday. At one point, he ascended to the top of the leaderboard, was unable to hold on to the position, setting up the drama that was 18 in regulation. That drama at 18 in regulation would require Rory McIlroy to make an eagle. He had, what would you say, Dom, 18, 20 feet on that eagle putt on 18 in regulation?
I can look it up, but I think it was more than that.
You do? All right. Well, he's going to look it up and see what it is. I mean, it was an excellent shot. I know this much. A par 5 at the K Club, and he had an 8-iron. So 8-iron for Rory is going to be at least 175, probably more. Although the weather that day was kind of heavy air. That was the way that Wayne Riley was describing it, and I thought it was an excellent description of it. And Rory splits a hole in two, goes into playoff, extra holes. Ultimately, he's able to secure it, winning. And remember, he's already won an Irish Open at the K Club, which is interesting because it brings up a number of different questions to me. One of which is, this was Rory McIlroy that a few years ago told the world. Did you find it, Dom? Just bark in if you do. A few years ago, Rory admitted to the world that he doesn't like to play in the wind and rain. And everyone was like, what? Wasn't that how you were raised, wind and rain? And he was like, yeah, I don't like to play in the wind and rain. And if you look at his proficiency on the PGA Tour, right, and his wins, the K Club.
28 feet.
28 feet. There you go. Even more impressive. The K Club is a club that looks very much like you could find it in, I'd say, South Carolina, this Arnold Palmer design. It doesn't really, when you're there, I'm not trying to be critical of it, I'm just being honest. When you're there, it feels very much like you're playing a course in the USA and not so much that you're playing a course in Ireland. I mean, even Andrew, pull up the shot that you have in preview. I'm not asking you to roll it. I just want you to pull up the shot, and you'll see in the background of kind of what I'm talking about. How lush it is. Look at the bunkers in the background. Those are not the typical bunkers that, if you ask most people to describe the bunkers in Ireland, just in general, they're not going to think about a Parkland style like that, U.S. style, relatively flat. You can't get up. You can see Rory doing this interview. We're going to get to his sound in just a second. And interestingly this morning is that the sound that we're featuring for you comes from multiple different media entities. They're all kind of bites of sound, but we grab them because each provides a different perspective from Rory McIlroy. One, because he's veteran enough and good enough that when you ask him a question, he's not going to deliver the answer the exact same way every single time. Like you would see in like a political realm or something, for an example. But this win by Rory McIlroy at this time of year, of course, all of it in some way, shape, or form, doesn't it, sets up the table for the Ryder Cup. And you're always looking for form. Like this week at the Procore and the PGA Tour, 10 of the 12 USA Ryder Cup members are in the field. 10 of the 12. And Keegan Bradley, captain, is, well, not playing, he's on site. I think the way the tour phrased it when I read the press release was to lend support. So Keegan Bradley will be there lending support, but 10 of the 12 will be competing, and I'm sure that they have plans to get together and all that that's out there. So let's start with this. This is Rory McIlroy winning his National Open, and there was so much emotion built into what happened. When I say his National Open, you can save me the messages saying that he's from Northern Ireland. This was in the Republic of Ireland. Golf in Ireland is governed under one umbrella, the Golfing Union of Ireland. So he has played under that flag for the entirety of his life, even in the Olympic Games. So this Irish Open, which has been competed in Northern Ireland multiple times as well, is considered the National Open for anyone that's from the island of Ireland. So it means a tremendous amount to them. So this first interview is courtesy of Sky Sports, and where we pick up is if he can describe the emotions in the wake of this win.
Rory, 9 years ago, you won your first RTE Open here at the K Club. Today, you just won your second. Try and describe the emotions, if you can, right now.
Yeah, look, I feel just so lucky that I get to do this. I get to do this in front of these people. The support has been absolutely amazing all week, and I thought it was going to be a nice homecoming. Obviously, coming home with a green jacket and all that, but this has been absolutely incredible. This has exceeded all of my expectations, and just so happy I could play the way I did this week for all of them and get the win.
Didn't get this at Augusta, did you?
No, I didn't. This is hopefully be getting a bit of it in a few weeks' time with the Ryder Cup. But this is it's absolutely incredible. I love coming home. I love playing in this atmosphere, and these are moments like this. These are the things you're going to remember. Well after your career's over, and this is a really special day.
I could ask you about the putt on 13. I could ask you about the tee shot on 15 that stayed dry. The putt on 18 in regulation. In your career, have you ever felt a moment like that?
I don't think so. I had a putt on the last green last year at RCD to force a playoff with Rasmus, and it just missed on the high side. So felt like it was a little bit of a redemption. And I hit it, and I wanted to just be aggressive with it, and but such a cool moment, such a cool feeling for that to go in, and that gave me a chance in the playoff. And the playoff, the way the 18th was playing today, it just felt like it was a case of who was going to blink first, and Joachim hit a per second shot in on that playoff hole, and that opened the door for me, and just so happy to be able to win my second Irish Open.
You talked about the crowd once again, because I saw you there, looking to the crowd there. I saw you look back at them running down the fairway. How did that make you feel? There's some running towards this way.
It's I feel very fortunate because there's probably very few golfers in the world that get the support that I get when I go home. Maybe John Rahm in Spain. There's maybe a few others, but this is absolutely incredible. I don't take it for granted. I feel very grateful and very lucky that I get to do this, and can't wait to celebrate tonight.
You said to me at the start of the week that you felt this year was almost complete already, apart from the Ryder Cup, which is coming up. Yeah. This week now, how much more complete and fulfilling does it feel? It
does. I mean, to do what I did earlier in the year, and then to come home and win my National Open, that's no matter what happens for the rest of the year, that's a pretty cool year. Like 2025 is going to go down as one of the best, if not the best, in my career. But as I said, we're not finished yet. I've got a big week next week at Wentworth, and then obviously everyone's looking forward to the Ryder Cup. But I'm just so happy my game's in good shape. I feel like I'm playing well. And that excites me for what's coming up.
Rory, many congratulations on Irish Open. Win number 2. I think you might be celebrating for quite a long time tonight. Thanks very much, Rory. Well
Thanks
played.
So much. Thank you.
That is Irish Open win number 2 being referenced there. And the other one, as I mentioned to you, took place right where he won this one at the K Club. He's had other close calls. He's played well in other Irish Opens. He referenced last year when he just grazed the hole that would have forced a playoff against Rasmus Højgaard, who incidentally is on that European Ryder Cup team. And he mentioned the Ryder Cup, unprompted, frankly, but he mentioned it, 2 or 3 times in that interview alone. It is interesting that coming into this Ryder Cup, how, I don't know what to call it, confidence or bravado or a combination thereof, carefully planned comments in the media, where Rory is being very confident that Europe is going to win this. He said it multiple times and in multiple different settings, including the message that he sent to the GB&I Walker Cup team, which, incidentally, congratulations to the USA Walker Cup team. They won convincingly when it was all said and done after the Sunday afternoon singles. So Rory also spoke with RTE. Now, RTE, now he's going to be familiar with Sky for the most part, but RTE is a little bit different because RTE is a national radio service of Ireland. And it's an opportunity, again, to kind of touch on these emotional subjects, obviously. Any win's going to be emotional for a player, but in particular, if a player is winning their national open. And so we pick up on that with the RTE with Rory McIlroy, where the first comment and reaction therein is just about how special a day it ended up being.
Yeah, really special. Yeah, just the support of the crowds out there and just playing in that atmosphere, especially coming down those last few holes, knowing what I needed to do and having the crowd sort of spur me on. Yeah, incredible day. Yeah, that eagle putt on 18 to get into the playoff is probably going to go down as one of the coolest moments of my career.
You obviously had to chase it somewhat overnight. Not the start you wanted initially, but a really good response.
Yeah. Yeah, we sort of teed off in that little squall. It was raining, and I hit that chip shot on one that just came out really, really fast because of the moisture on the ground. And yeah, not the ideal way to start. But as you said, I responded well. Birdied, I think 3 of my next 4 holes. So that was really good. And then, you know, once I got into the back 9, could sort of see what was happening a little bit more. And disappointed I didn't birdie the 10th or the 16th, the 2 par 5s, but thankfully made up for that on 18.
When you come to these events, these Irish Opens, obviously huge weight of expectation on you to deliver. You've obviously done that. Is that something you embrace?
Absolutely. I think it's taken me a while to get to this point where I do embrace it and I do enjoy it. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, after the year that I've had and the career that I've had, to be able to come home, play in front of these crowds and really feel the love, but also show them my appreciation for their support over the years. Yeah, I love it.
You've mentioned the year you've had, incredible. More to come. Wentworth obviously coming up, but
yeah.
Ryder Cup at the end of the month. I mean, it could be an exceptional year for you.
Yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But yeah, I've got a big tournament at Wentworth next week. This has went a long way in the race to Dubai, and just giving myself that little cushion again. Next week's another opportunity for that. But yeah, as you say, the Ryder Cup, and I'm so happy that my game's in good shape going into next week and ultimately the end of September. So I saw some really good signs in my game this week, and hopefully just keep it going now for the next few weeks leading up to Bethpage.
And finally, I'm sure you had some words of sympathy for your opponent in the playoff.
Yeah, but still a great week for him. He played great. He bounced back well after a tough round yesterday, and I've been on the end of playoff losses. They're tough, but no one beat him over the course of the week. So he can take a lot of positives from it.
Yeah, a lot of golf for Rory actually at this time of year. He's mentioning it with the Ryder Cup being the cap in that comment that he just made, but it goes beyond that because of what he's doing with the race to Dubai and his efforts to win yet again another race to Dubai. So we'll see how that plays itself out for Rory McIlroy. He also spoke with, I'll call it a podcast, but it's associated with the BBC, called Off the Ball. And again, it gives us an opportunity to dig a little deeper. And this is what Dom and this is what Andrew have put together, because finding these clips, and they're all relatively short, as you're hearing, it gives us an opportunity to have a perspective on Rory McIlroy that's different than what we normally get from one media source, where you're going to get, maybe it's a little bit longer than what we're playing for you, but that's pretty much it. That's the only thing you're going to get an opportunity to hear from. But in this case, because we have it coming in from different sources, it gives us different perspectives. I get it that, yes, we're talking about the same thing in the wake of victory of having won the Irish Open, but I'm looking both for themes that are recurrent in the comments that he's making to these different media entities. And the Ryder Cup is very much one of those recurrent themes, which is really, really cool in terms of the passion that he is harboring for that event. And also because it gives us opportunities, these perspectives, each one a little bit different. Like this one that's coming up, amongst those that he talks about is his caddy, Harry Diamond. And if you follow Rory and his career over the last few years, you know that he's gotten a lot of heat from a lot of people that has aggravated him, questioning his best friend, Harry, who we put on the bag a few years ago. Harry's a great player in his own right. And people say, well, he needs a more veteran caddy, et cetera, et cetera. Well, here's Rory McIlroy with the year that he's had this year. We're going to get into that in coming up here in a few moments to illustrate exactly what's going on, because it is a historic year by any measure. But in this case, we start with Rory McIlroy with how he was reacting to the way that the crowd just lit up with what he did from the finish in regulation through the playoff.
Yeah, I needed to today. Felt like not birdieing 10 and 16, the 2 par 5s on the back 9. Felt like I'd let my chance slip a little bit there, but then was able to pull something out of the bag on 18 and make that eagle. And yeah, that moment will go down as one of probably the coolest moments of my career. So yeah, just an incredible week. Just the support, the atmosphere out there. Yeah, just absolutely amazing to play in front of those crowds, and even more amazing to get the job done in front of them as well.
Nothing will probably ever top what happened in April at Augusta, but I don't think any golfer will have experienced what you experienced on 18 there. Can you talk through the putt and then the moments after the putt and the noise and the wildness of it?
Yeah, just absolutely incredible. You know, I feel very fortunate that when I come home, I get the support that I do. I've had it twice this year, up at Portrush for the Open, here for the Irish Open. Yeah, I don't know if there's many other golfers that get the support that I do whenever they go home, and I certainly don't take it for granted. It's incredible. I struggled with it a little bit earlier on in my career, just with the pressure and the expectation, but I've learned how to embrace it and enjoy it. And you know, when I do it that way and I do embrace it, I think it brings the best out of me, and I can really ride that wave of momentum that the crowd gives me. And you know, that was basically what happened this week.
It must be so special to have that impact on people. There was a video you probably saw yesterday. You threw a ball to a young girl beside the media tent and she's in floods of tears. Like, to be able to have that positive impact on people is, how is it?
It's amazing. I mean, just to think like a little random small thing of throwing a ball to someone, and yeah, just I don't know why, but the enjoyment that I give people because I play golf or the way I play golf or for whatever reason. But as I say, I don't take it for granted. I know that not everyone gets the support that I do, and I feel very, very fortunate that I get to experience it.
Hard to believe when you think back 12 months to leaving Royal County Down and maybe Wentworth the week after, and those disappointments and the questions that were being raised, the year that you've had since. Yeah,
I know. But I think those were important. You know, the loss at the Irish Open, the loss at Wentworth, because of those is the reason that I'm having the year that I've had. So the more that you just put yourself in these positions and you give yourself chances to win, it's not going to happen all the time, but it's going to, you know, the more you put yourself in those positions, the more it's going to fall your way. And I just think I've got a lot of experience in those situations, and you know, I can just handle them a little bit better nowadays, and that's the reason that I'm picking up a few more trophies.
And when we spoke earlier in the week, you spoke about Harry wanting a Grand Slam as well. You've given him a first Irish Open and, you know, a second Irish Open. Maybe a good way to start winning things a second time now, and the big ones.
Absolutely. You know, I won a second Players this year, a second Irish Open, hopefully a second Wentworth next week. And then hopefully a second away Ryder Cup after that. So it would be a good time to start the seconds.
Amazing, isn't it? Again, the insight that you're gaining from that, which is why we picked these particular cuts and went deep on them, is that Rory just told us that out of the rubbles of failing to achieve what you attempted to achieve is the reason why he's having the success that he's having now.